homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today I want to show you how to save just a few seeds. Some people see me saving seeds, and why do I show so many seed saving videos? Well, I show you how to save seeds from different varieties of different things, because sustainability is all about seed saving. All right. And at SHTF, it's too late to learn about saving seeds. Your failures will outnumber your successes, and you won't like the outcome. So it's one of those things that I spend a lot of time showing you how to do. This morning, I get a lot of requests from people, well, you save so many seeds at a time. You know, I don't need that many seeds. Is there an easier way that I can save my tomato seeds or whatever other kind of seeds they are, and still be viable from year to year? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way to save small batches of tomato seeds by vinegration as well. Okay. I've got my little trusty table that I use for almost everything. I love these little folding tables for use in a garden. They're just so handy to take around, and you've got something where you can sit down and sort seeds, or you've got something that you can set your flat on so you don't have to bend over to pick it up. These little folding tables, get you one if you can find one. I think I bought this at the flea market for $3, and I bought two of them at the same time, so they're worth it. Don't throw away your old jars. We buy this salsa sometimes. I know we can make our own salsa, but it's just easier to buy it while it's available. Later on, if something happens and you can't buy it, you know, I think this is cheap. I think it's like $3 for this whole big jar. But anyway, I'm going to take this salsa and I'm going to save a tomato. Now, we've got a big old yellow tomato that we grow here at College Hill Farm. Right there it is. I don't even know the variety. It's got some ants and things on it, some bugs on it. I'm sure it's got some fruit flies on it. Of course, I want those there because they're going to bring the bacteria that's going to make this vinaigrette. But, get off there. Now, I've let this go till it's way ripe. Okay, I only got one plant this year of this variety of tomato, so it's important that I save them. I only plant 2 or 3 plants of this every year, so it's not like I have tons and tons and tons and tons of them. So now, what I'm going to do, now, you need a good sharp knife, alright? Yesterday, I did a video on how to sharpen a knife because I knew that I was going to be harvesting tomatoes this morning. I'm going to do this one, and then a little bit later I'm going to harvest these old beetles. I'm going to be harvesting my mortgage lifters for seed. So this, of course, it looks bad. This is exactly what happens to a tomato when it goes to seed. So I'm going to take and cut this baby open. Of course, a good sharp knife is everything. And I love these little tables because they're plastic and they'll just wash right off. Now, I want to take my jar. It's been washed out. And I'm going to take it and I'm just going to scrape all the seeds that I can find in this tomato in this jar. And I'm not going to try and lose any. If there were any that came out there when I first started. Okay, now I just throw that over. Okay, there's one. Now these tomatoes that I grow basically a beefsteak style tomato. Okay, there's seeds. And I cut them in such a way, cut them long ways, so that I get that meat, and where I'm holding it up, it's running down my sleeve. Anyway, we'll cut this out of here. There's more. And just keep adding those seeds in here. There we go, there's a bunch. And if you get pulp in there, that's absolutely fine. Scrape those in. There's a bunch. That's that one. Throw it over out of the way. Now let's go for the other half. Now, all of the stuff, this stuff like you see right there, that's a seed sprout inhibitor. If that wasn't in there, these seeds, they're all wet inside of the tomato. So what will happen is there's more. They would sprout if it didn't have a seed sprouting hormone, an anti-seed sprouting hormone inside the tomato. A whole bunch of them right there. And why am I so particular about getting every seed out of this tomato? Well, this may be the only tomato of this variety that I save seed from. I like to save seed from at least 5 different tomatoes from 5 different plants. Diversity. But I only have one plant with this tomato on it. Okay, with this type of tomato. So as far as saving from 5 different plants, not going to happen this year, because I let my seed get very old. Now, I don't know what the name of this tomato is. I'm sure that there is an open pollinated variety just like it somewhere out there. Okay? I don't know what the name of it might be, but I'm sure that there's probably one just like it out there somewhere. But that might be the case. It might not. I'm sure this is a tomato that I bought. It's not a tomato that my grandfather grew or nothing like that, so it's not a long-standing family heirloom. Okay, it's just a big yellow tomato, open pollinated variety that I don't even remember the variety of anymore. It's been so long. See, it's a big meaty tomato. I just want to make sure to get some seeds back. Now, I'm sure this plant will put off several tomatoes, and I'll have the opportunity to get more seeds. But for this time, right this minute, what if something happens and that tomato didn't put out any more tomato plants, any more tomatoes? Well, then I'd be stuck with no seeds. So this was the first ripe tomato off that plant, and you saw me harvest it. Okay, that's that. I got a few seeds here on the thing. I want to save them. A lot of stuff on the homestead's messy. Well, messy don't bother me. And you know, like I do, that I use my knife for everything in the world, whether it's making a mortise and a board, or that I don't want to go fool with getting my chisel, cutting up a tomato, cutting a hole in a piece of tin. I use it for everything. Use it like a spatula for weighing out powder and different stuff. Okay. That's got all those seeds in this jar. Now, what am I going to do with this? Well, all you have to do at this point is I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. I'm not near the water spigot right this minute, but I'm going to add a little water to it, and that water, get off there, skeeter, stupid skeeters. I'm going to add some water to this, and then I'm going to set it in a dark spot with the lid just sitting on. It's not going to be screwed down. Now, this tomato was cracked and stuff, and you saw that. So what's going to happen is there's fruit flies already in there, and they're going to bring a little bacteria that makes vinegar called Acetobacter, and that bacteria will eat some of the stuff here and convert it to vinegar, acetic acid. So the seeds that are viable will fall to the bottom, and the seeds that are not viable will float on top. And that way you can skim off any unviable stuff, and you're left with only seeds that are going to germinate. Now, I'll come back and show you that process in about 3 days. It'll take about 3 days for this to sit, and you want it in a dark spot without sunlight. Okay, it's been 4 days. It's time to get our seeds. Of course, you know, this is how you do a small batch. You just use a little container like this. You can see the white looking stuff? That's a white mold. That's what's supposed to be there. Now, the first thing you want to do, I didn't add a whole lot of water to this, but you can see some of the seeds there on the bottom. If I turn this up, see them moving right here? Now, the viable seeds have all sunk to the bottom, but what I want to do is I want to get the pulp and the unviable seeds come up to the top, so I'm going to add some more water to this, and then I'm going to let it settle for about 20 minutes. Now, I added enough water to that it's going to sit there, and I'm going to let the pulp come to the top. It'll take it a little while. Of course, this was a big yellow tomato. It'll take it a little while for the pulp and the seeds to float back up that are not going to be good, and the other seeds will collect here in the bottom, and that's what we're after. So I'm going to let this set for about 20 minutes, and then I'll get back with you. All right, we've let this sit for about 20 minutes, and this is we've got scum on the top, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour that off. Any old bad seeds or anything like that is just going to be poured right out of there, and I'm leaving the good seeds. Okay, now every seed that's left in there now should be viable. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to shake this up real good. You'll need a paper plate. I've got 2 or 3 paper plates out here, but I keep a set outside, so just for this purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this up to make sure that any seeds that are still in there will come out. I'm probably going to add some more water to it. It's going to need a little bit more, so let's do that. I've added some more water. Now shake this up. You need a fine sieve. Get this shook up good. and get all those poured in. And you want to make sure that there are none left, and there aren't. That's what they look like. Now we'll take them over here to the water and wash them. Okay, once we've got them done, we need to turn on some water and rinse them good. That'll get rid of any of the stuff that might be on them. Okay, you can use your hand and rub just a little bit. And then I like to get them all bunched up in one spot, so it's easier to get them out of the screen. Okay, there they are, all bunched up. You take a paper plate, and then I just put the paper plate in here. This is why I like this big old screen. Turn them over, and then you can just tap. And most of them come straight off and on to the paper plate. Okay, see? I've only got one or two left, but most of them came right out on the paper plate. So I'll get the couple that didn't. And then you just spread them out. Now for the average person who's just going to grow a few tomatoes, this is probably enough seed from year to year. There's probably 50 seeds right there. Alright, so that's all there is to save a small batch. I save a larger batch, so I have that great big old screen. But what will I do with these? I'll put these on top of my refrigerator and allow them to dry. Kind of spread them out as good as I can. They want to stick together, it's just the way they do. But the seed sprouting hormone should all be gone, and these will dry out. And once they're dry, like I said, I'll put them on top of the refrigerator. Once they're dry, then I'll put them in a Ziploc bag and in our tote. Now this fall, I'll show you how I store all of our seeds. Okay, that's how you store a small batch of tomato seeds. The variety here is a big yellow tomato. It's a potato leaf tomato that I've grown forever, and I don't know the name of it. Okay, it's just a yellow tomato that we've grown forever. So now, if you like this kind of stuff, this homestead and do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homestead and stuff every week, sometimes one, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. If you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.